In the winter of 1879, a wheat farmer named Caleb Durst hid something in his barn outside Bozeman, Montana, something he never told a single soul. Not his wife, not his pastor, not even the doctor who came when his hand started shaking and never stopped. He kept it for 4 months. It stood 9 feet tall sitting down, and 3 days before the army took it away, it told him what was coming, not just for his farm, but for all of us. Caleb Durst was 51. Born in Ohio, he moved west after losing his family's land and settled along Bridger Creek. By all accounts, he was quiet, careful, and completely ordinary. That matters because what he wrote wasn't a story. It was a record, a journal hidden beneath his root cellar and discovered by his granddaughter in 1968. Reads like a man trying to document something real before it was taken from him. And he wasn't alone. In 1877, a railroad crew in Wyoming uncovered 3 skeletons over 10 feet long. A foreman filed a report. The next morning, 2 men in military uniform collected it and told him to call them buffalo. In 1878, a woman in Idaho wrote about a buried stone room filled with oversized tools. Her letters stopped arriving. She didn't stop writing. The frontier wasn't empty. It was being emptied. Drop an eye emoji in the comments if you've never heard any of this in a history class. Because I hadn't either. And I want to know how many of us were kept in the dark on this. Durst found the giant on February 3rd, half frozen in a creek behind his pasture. Alive, barely. He dragged it out with 2 horses. 2 days later, it spoke. You are the first who did not run. It called itself Ohen. For 4 months, Ohen told Durst things, slowly, carefully, in broken English, while Durst wrote by lamplight. It spoke of a time before the mud, when cities existed that no one remembers. It said the mud wasn't natural, and the survivors weren't dangerous, just remembered too much. It said the Army's role wasn't protection, it was concealment. Durst later wrote, I think of the stone arch I found in 1871. I thought it was natural. I do not think that anymore. On June 14, 1879, 17 soldiers arrived. No warning, no explanation. Durst had 40 minutes. He buried the journal, told his wife to stay silent, then walked out to meet them. It took 11 soldiers and heavy equipment to move Ohen. Durst said it never looked away from him, never made a sound. He was taken for questioning, gone 19 days. When he returned, he never spoke of it again and never stopped shaking. He died in 1890. Cause of death, nervous exhaustion. The journal was later verified as authentic to the 1870s, but rejected by a historical society. Army records from that summer, present, but restricted, since 1931. No reason given. I want to know what you think happened to Ohen after that wagon rolled east. Drop your theory in the comments. Some of the answers on this channel are genuinely better than anything I could write. The night before the soldiers came, Ohen told Durst one last thing. They will bury the record, but they cannot bury the land. Every time the earth is opened, a little of what was here returns. That is why they are always watching. Durst wrote those words by candlelight. Then he hid the journal and waited for sunrise. The truth doesn't need permission to survive. It just needs one person willing to write it down. If this is the kind of history you were never taught, subscribe. We're just getting started.